Today's topic is Wilson's disease. It is an autosomal recessive disorder, very rare, usually occurs in persons under age 40 years. Worldwide prevalence is about 30 per million. It is characterized by excessive deposition of copper, mainly in liver and brain. Genetic defect localized to the variety of the mutation in the ATP7B gene on chromosome 13 and leads to copper accumulation in liver and oxidative damage of hepatic mitochondria. Approximately 300 different mutations in the Wilson's disease gene have been identified. H1069Q mutation accounts for 37 to 63% of disease alleles in populations of Northern European descent. Before going to see the pathophysiology in Wilson's disease, we know the copper metabolism normally. Normal copper uptake is 2 to 5 gram daily and 40 to 60% are absorbed in the stomach and upper duodenum, as you see on number 1. Number 2, it is then incorporated mainly into the ceruloplasmin in the liver. Then number 3, you see that the ceruloplasmin bounded copper is secreted into the plasma, which accounts for 90 to 95% of the serum copper. Number 4, the ceruloplasmin binds 6 to 7 copper atoms firmly and important for oxidation of the ferrous in plasma. Copper that is bound to transcuprin and albumin is released into tissues for metabolic needs, as see on number 5. And old ceruloplasmin is broken down in the liver and the related copper binds to biliary proteins and excreted in the bile. That is the normal metabolism of the copper. In Wilson's disease, initial step of the copper absorption and transport to the liver are normal, but liver fails to excrete sufficient copper via bile. In Wilson's disease, there is almost always a failure of synthesis of ceruloplasmin and the ability to incorporate into ceruloplasmin is diminished. So due to mutation in the ATP7B gene on chromosome 13 leads to copper accumulation in liver and oxidative damage of hepatic mitochondria. Free or only loosely bound copper progressively accumulates in the liver. Free copper escapes from the overloaded, damaged hepatocytes into the circulation. Free copper is cytotoxic because it promotes the formation of oxygen radical. Free copper in circulation deposited in other organs, causing hemolytic anemia, as you see on the right side of the picture, and chronic hepatitis that later leads to cirrhosis if not treated. If the hepatitis takes a fulminant course, then a large amount of copper are suddenly released from the necrotic liver and this may trigger a hemolytic crisis. Accumulation of the copper in central nervous system causes the neurological, neuromuscular and the psychogenic abnormalities. Copper deposition in Descemet's membrane of the eye gives rise to the KF ring, Kayser-Felice ring, and kidneys, skeletal and heart can also be affected. As you see over the right side of the picture, decreased biliary copper elimination is decreased, then copper incorporation in the ceruloplasmin is also decreased in the liver, and there is free copper in the plasma is increased, which has very radically toxic and it causes over the liver chronic hepatitis leading to cirrhosis, hemolytic anemia, neurological disorders and deposition of copper in the cornea. So clinical features, symptoms usually arise between the age of 5 and 45 years. Hepatic disease occurs predominantly in childhood and early adolescence, although it can present in adults in their 50s. Neurological damage causes basal ganglion syndrome and dementia. Other manifestations include renal tubular damage and osteoporosis. When it is deposited over the liver, it causes episodes of acute hepatitis, sometimes recurrent, especially in children, and may progress to fulminant hepatic failure. The latter is characterized by the liberation of the free copper in the bloodstream, causing massive hemolysis and renal tubulopathy. Chronic hepatitis can also develop insidiously and eventually present with established cirrhosis, liver failure, and portal hypertension. Possibility of Wilson's disease should be considered in any patient under the age of 40 presenting with recurrent acute hepatitis or chronic liver disease of unknown cause, especially when there is accompanied by hemolysis. Over the CNS, a variety of extrapyramidal features, particularly tremors, chorioathetosis, dystonia, Parkinsonism, and dementia. As you see the picture of the child having chorioathetosis and dystonic posture. Neurological disease typically develop after the onset of the liver disease and can be prevented by effective treatment started following diagnosis in the liver disease phase. So here are picture of certain children having different neurological postures and abnormalities. Here in the adults, Kessler-Fletcher rings, most important single clinical clue to the diagnosis. Seen in 60% of the adults with Wilson's disease, less often in children, but almost always present in neurological Wilson's disease, only by slit lamp examination. Cave rings are characterized by the greenish brown discoloration of the corneal margin, appearing first at the upper periphery. They disappear with treatment, as you see over the picture on the right side. Investigations, serum copper and ceruloplasmin usually reduced but can be normal. Urinary copper is usually increased 100 to 1000 microgram in 24 hours. Normal value is less than 40 microgram. Liver biopsy, it depends on the measurement of the amount of copper in the liver. More than 250 microgram per gram dry weight, although high levels of copper are also found in the liver in chronic cholestasis. Hemolysis and anemia may be present. MRI of the brain may show the evidence of increased basal ganglia, brainstem, and cerebellar copper even early in the course of the disease. Genetic analysis is limited, but selected exons are screened according to the population group. So here you see the gross appearance of the liver, and over the right side of the picture the histology of the liver having the copper deposition. This is the MRI of the brain. The arrow shows the deposition of the copper in the basal ganglia. Treatment. The treatment of choice is the penicillamine. Lifetime treatment 1 to 1.5 gram daily is effective in chelating the copper. If treatment is started early, clinical and biochemical improvement can occur. Urine copper levels should be monitored and the drug dose adjusted downward after 2 to 3 years. Serious side effects occur in 10% and include skin rashes, leukopenia, skin changes, and renal damage. If penicillamine is not tolerated or having a side effects, then trientine 1.2 to 1.8 gram per day and zinc acetate 150 milligram per day have been used as maintenance therapy and for asymptomatic cases. All siblings and children of the patient should be screened. That is, ATP7B mutation analysis is useful and treatment given even in asymptomatic if there is evidence of copper accumulation. As far as the liver transplantation, it may require in patient with severe hepatitis or liver failure. But the value of liver transplantation in severe neurological Wilson disease is unclear. Prognosis is excellent provided treatment is started before there is irreversible damage, especially in the central nervous system. Early diagnosis and effective treatment have improved the outlook. Neurological damage is, however, permanent. Permanent hepatic failure or decompensated cirrhosis should be treated by liver transplantation.